Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic broke out in the country last year, the president, together with the religious leaders, have on several occasions conducted national prayer day sessions to seek for God's mercy, guidance and intervention. As the country eagerly awaits what will come out of the president's speech tomorrow after the end of the 42 days set for the partial lockdown, leaders from evangelical, baptism, Pentecostal and charismatic churches are to jointly add their voices in the National Day of Prayer under the theme, Unity of the 12 Stones, to oversee the country out of this trying moment.
But this time we are not putting on the umbrellas of our churches because we have a Goliath. Goliath came as COVID. COVID is really bad, but somehow COVID has opened many avenues, though we have lost people.
And I believe with all my heart that this has been long overdue. And we thank God for this season of COVID-19, believing that God has a hand in it.
This is going to be a time in the churches. There's been a lot of fighting because somebody doesn't perceive this, somebody does this, somebody does that. It's a moment where we're going to say, hey, brother, except those false prophets who kill people, who sacrifice people.
The 1 hour prayer session is to take place at Kololo Independent Grounds, meant to fight malice, hatred, and degrading among churches and families, especially when the church is torn apart to a number of issues.
So this Saturday, 31st, 11 to 12, Kololo. I'm just adding my voice on the voice to call upon people from the prison to the palace, from the prisoner to the president. Let us call God. He will speak to this problem and it will go away.
With the majority of Ugandans hit hard by the pandemic due to the lockdown that was declared by the Fountain of Honor, these moments will forever live in their minds. This is what has prompted these pastors to jointly seek God's intervention to defeat the pandemic.
Every time God wants to speak to his people, he always makes them isolated. They isolate themselves, they go in solitude so that God can speak to them.
I sense that is nothing but the growth that this country has desperately needed like yesterday.
Apostle Dr. John Bunjo has kindly asked the president in his next speech for tomorrow to include church leaders amongst essential workers, since they are spiritual mediators.
Because he has to have some people on the ground to know, if we release this, what can we do? Uganda has better laws. We can even avoid COVID if we have strict, the strict laws are there, but enforcement, that's how it is.
The day's prayers will broadcast live on local television and radio stations to curb the spread of coronavirus.